Hello everyone, back to today's second video doing weekend forecast. For today's second video, as always on Saturday, we're going to have a detailed look at the weather for the week ahead. So last week's weekend forecast was a classic as the beast from the east was about to be unleashed. This week's weekend forecast is kind of like counting down the end, really, of what has been a historic and very snowy and bitterly cold Siberian freeze-up. So we're coming out of it now. It's going to be a slow process to warm things up in the north, but over coming days we will see a shift from snow to rain, and we're going to get rid of most of the snow that's lying on the ground. Of course, got very deep snow drifts in some places, so it can take a long time to get rid of those snow drifts, but things will be improving day by day. Now, the problem when you're in this kind of thaw situation is that you tend to generate, unless it's windy, and it's not going to be windy, tend to generate a lot of fog and mist and low cloud and murk as the milder air aloft overlays what is still snow-covered and frozen ground. So, as well as having spells of rain coming and going, we're going to have quite a lot, particularly early in the week, I think, quite a lot of pretty dank and miserable weather. But it's all part of a process, really, of coming out of a freeze-up, kind of which we've had over the past few days. And then later on in the week, things will get quite interesting because we're going to start to try and push some very mild air up from the south at the end of the week. Spring will be arriving across France and Spain, but at the same time, cold air is going to try to come back in from the north, and that generates perhaps quite a stormy area of low pressure at the end of the week with risk of gales next weekend, heavy rain. Maybe wouldn't rule out a little bit of snow for some areas as well. I'll talk you through the weekend forecast in a second. Just to say that today's first video was the March month-ahead forecast, and you can find that on the month-ahead forecast page. The link to it is here on the home page. We're going for quite a cold March, but not a March 2013, not severely cold. Despite the severe cold start, we're expecting some milder conditions, perhaps more likely in the second half of the month. Have a look at the month-ahead forecast and see what you think. Going to start off with some weather picks again. So a lot of you have been sharing your weather picks and sending very kind tweets and emails just saying how useful you found the videos and the updates over the past few days as we've been dealing with this severe freeze-up. You're all very, very kind, and thank you so much to all of you who take the trouble to email and message and tweet to say how much you've been enjoying the videos, and perhaps more importantly, how much you've been finding the videos useful in terms of this cold weather. So a big thank you to everybody who's been doing that. But I've got some weather picks. This is from Matt, just down the road from me in Northampton. This is from last night. Pretty deep snow cover there. I've got deep snow cover as well. The snowiest part for us in Northampton of this cold spell actually came last night when we had about 10 centimetres of snow falling in persistent and quite heavy snow through much of the night. So I've got quite a deep cover outside now, but it is beginning to drip a little bit, and it won't be long before all of this starts melting away. This one has come from, let's see who this is from. This is from Will Smith in Wiltshire. This was tweeted to me. Deep snow cover there. Real drifts down in Wiltshire. Just look at that, how bad the drifts, the snow drifts are there. All of that from the storm, of course, that happened on Thursday night. Storm Emma really whipping the snow up, causing big drifting there. That's a picture that's been tweeted to me by Joe Garnett. Managed to make a little bit of a snow sculpture there. Looks like a little cat or something a bit feline that's been developed in the snow there. But nice little snow sculpture. Not sure where this is, but it's from me at Bronte Lad, and very thick icicles there hanging off a post office. So not sure where that is. Maybe perhaps it's in Bronte country country up in the north, who knows. This one is from Matty H. So Matty's down in Bristol, that sort of area, I think. Quite deep snow cover and large drifts there. Matty said that he's not seen snow like this here for a number of years. It's certainly a historic spell of snow that happened down in the southwest over the past few days. This was emailed. Was emailed by Chailey in Hailsham. So deep, heavy snowfall going on there. I think that's from yesterday. This one is from Neil, who is in Patcham in Brighton. They got snow. Neil was wondering when did the live event with Quantum on Sunday. Neil, I think, was one of the people that's asking whether he'd see snow in Brighton. So indeed, Neil did see snow in Brighton this week. This is from Steve in Dublin. They've been hit very, very badly over in Ireland. Really deep snow cover there. And also this is from Sean. This was posted into the comment box at Gazza. This is from Sean. Again in Ireland. Both of these come from Dublin, I think. Deep snow cover again there in Dublin. And then this one was also posted by William Morgan, and it's ice flows through the USK Bridge at Abergavenny. Really deep snow and ice through the river there in Abergavenny. Remember, you want your weather picks featured, and I haven't had time to feature all of them in the videos recently, so hopefully I'll be able to do a few more in coming videos. You can email them to gavsweathervids@gmail.com. You can post them in the comment box at gavsweathervids, and also you can tweet them and share them on our social media pages, Facebook and Twitter, all of that kind of thing. If we have time in the videos, when we have time, we will feature some of those pictures in the vids. And a big thank you to everybody for doing that. Right, let's get on with weekend forecast. This is the latest situation in terms of radar picture from the weatheroutlook.com. You can find a link to the Weather Outlook on the links page. So we've still got snow across Scotland. We've got showering bursts of snow over Scotland. This area just here has brought snow to Northern Ireland and parts of Northern England this morning. That's the snow that was across Wales and Midlands yesterday afternoon and evening. And this is marking the boundary between the big freeze, which is still ongoing for Scotland. They haven't come out of it yet. And the less cold air that's moving into the south. And so much of this precipitation down here in the southwest is mainly rain, possibly snow over hills, but it's mainly rain. However, the ground is still snow-covered and very frozen. So some of this will probably be freezing rain, again, that we've got down here in the south and the southwest. Let's have a look at the precipitation type, and that shows that it's mainly snow still over Scotland, or it's all snow really over Scotland. That band of patchy snow is there across Northern Ireland into northwest England. And then this down here mostly looks like it's rain. Let's have a look at the dew points. You can see that, so from Northern England northwards, the dew points are still at or below freezing. So it's still very cold for central and northern parts of the country, particularly for Scotland. Down in the south and the southwest, the dew points have gone 1-2 degrees above freezing, which will mean that it's primarily rain that we have now, away from elevation anyway. Parts of South Wales, the dew point is still close to freezing. So most of this in the south and the southwest is going to be rain. But as this drifts northwards into Wales and the Midlands, there is a risk of some sleet and snow, primarily over high ground, like Welsh Mountains, Staffordshire Moorlands, that sort of area. On lower ground, because the ground is so frozen and snow-covered, there could be some freezing rain and ice coming up this afternoon and this evening. So a little bit of wintry mix. This is all part of the process of bringing us out of the freezer. When you've had such a prolonged and severe freeze-up as we've had, it's never a very quick process to get out of it, or very rarely is it a very quick process to get out of it. I suppose if we have a severe gale coming in off the Atlantic and bouts of heavy rain, then we'll get out of it quickly. But usually when you're in this kind of freeze that we've been in, it tends to be quite a slow process to be able to pull out of this kind of freeze up. And this is a classic example of that. Here's today's Arctic pressure chart then. So essentially what's happened is that the blocking is still there that gave us all of the severe weather, but it's headed off up towards Greenland, and it's allowed this area of low pressure, which is really the remains of Storm Emma, to just hang around the northwest of Europe. And this low pressure is going to be with us, hanging around pretty much all week really. Bringing this less cold / milder weather to the UK. We are very, depending on your point of view, if you enjoy the cold weather, then we are very unlucky to be coming out of this freeze, actually. If you are fed up with the cold weather, then we are very lucky what's happening here, because the jet stream is still a very, very long way south of us, and when the jet stream is as far south as it is at the moment, it's actually going down into Spain and North Africa with that black line just there. In fact, I can very briefly show you the position of the jet stream. So that's it. That's where the main jet stream is, with that red area just there. It's a very long way south of us. And when the jet stream is as far south as it is, then usually we will be very cold. All that's happened is that we've had an unusually deep area of low pressure, Storm Emma, that has pushed the blocking that little further north. But if we hadn't had Storm Emma, I think there's a very good chance we would be locked into the freezer now still, and probably in the days ahead as well. So we have been quite lucky here, or unlucky, depending on what you think about cold and snow. That's off on a tangent. Let's get back to the weekend forecast. So, for the rest of today, we're going to see about showery rain in the southwest. It'll gradually start to move northwards and eastwards, possibly bringing some freezing rain to parts of Wales and the Midlands, maybe a little bit of sleet or snow, mostly over high ground. Further north than that, it's still very cold for northern England, particularly for Scotland. More snow showers continue across northern and eastern parts of Scotland. Temperatures there will stay below freezing all day at around -1 or -2. But in the far south and southwest, we're going to be up to around 6 or 7 degrees potentially this afternoon, positively balmy after all of the freezing cold weather of recent days. Overnight tonight, we're going to find, again, we have showery bursts of rain. It'll be very difficult to pin down the detail for this week with this area of low pressure just sitting around, throwing up showery bands of rain. So we may have a mix of rain, sleet, and possibly some hail snow through parts of Wales and the Midlands tonight. Further north of that, Scotland keeps snow showers going, and we'll probably see that wintry mix heading up in towards parts of northern England and Northern Ireland as well. To the south and southwest, expect more showery bursts of rain. Again, we probably find a lot of mist and low cloud developing. Some dense patches of fog are likely too as we begin to thaw out all of the snow and the frozen ground. There's plenty of mist, low cloud and fog across the country at the moment, and that's likely to thicken up, I would have thought, overnight tonight. Temperatures ranging from -5 in far north of Scotland to probably +5 down on the south coast. That's how things are looking for Sunday. Low pressure is in charge of the weather, so there'll be further showery bursts of rain coming and going. Any snow probably becoming mostly confined to Scotland, I would have thought. Still cold enough for snow there. Otherwise, I think we're mainly looking at rain tomorrow as the big freeze does finally draw to a close. There'll be lots of low cloud, mist and grey, murky skies too, with some dense patches of fog as we continue to thaw out the snow and begin to nip the frost out of the ground. Temperatures tomorrow could reach 8 degrees down in the southwest, so it will be quite a mild day in the far southwest of the country, but across Scotland still struggling, really, for much of Scotland actually, to get much above freezing. That's how Monday's looking. Low pressure is over the country, so further showery bursts of rain. There could well be some dense patches of fog, especially early and late on Monday as well. A few bright or sunny breaks could come through at times. Any snow mostly confined to northern hills and mountains across Scotland, I would have thought, across on Monday, as most parts of the country are in that milder or less cold air. If the sunshine comes out, we might see temperatures going up to around 10 degrees, that's 50 Fahrenheit, somewhere across the south coast. But more typically, around 6 or 7, and in any lingering fog, probably feeling actually still quite cold. We're in that very shallow and slack area of low pressure on Tuesday. So again, detail is hard to come by really. Just expect showery bursts of rain with drier, brighter periods in between. As we go along, fog probably becomes less of an issue as the ground continues to thaw out and we lose the snow and the frost begins to lift out of the ground. We probably get less of an issue with fog as we go further into the week. But nevertheless, there might be some fog patches to begin on Tuesday morning. And again, I suspect there will be a few brighter sunny spells coming through, but always those showery bursts of rain, and they're most likely particularly in western parts of the country. It's very hard to be detailed about this in such an odd kind of weather pattern. Temperatures on Tuesday, again, somewhere around 5 to 10 degrees Celsius. That's how Wednesday's looking. And we're starting to try and pull a little bit of colder air back into the north again on Wednesday. So showers may start to turn a bit wintry over Scotland on Wednesday. Otherwise, I think we're looking at showery spells of rain. There is a trough coming through across England and Wales, actually. That could trigger some quite heavy showers on Wednesday. Maybe more persistent rain. Might even be a few cracks of thunder mixed in. Temperatures a little bit lower across most parts of the country as well, so a fairly chilly feeling day, particularly for northern parts of the country. Temperatures 3 degrees across northern Scotland to around 7 or 8 degrees in the south. Again, notice how far south the jet stream is. This is a very unusual situation with the jet stream going down into Spain and Portugal like that. It is quite odd to be seeing relatively, I mean, you're not talking about mild weather, but we're talking about less cold weather, and it is quite odd really what's happening here, because normally with the jet stream down there it would be pretty cold. So again, very lucky or unlucky with this weather coming up in the next few days, depending on your point of view. And as we go through to Thursday and Friday, what starts to happen is that low pressure begins to develop down to the southwest, and that's trying to pull milder air up across Spain and France. That spring will actually arrive across parts of France and Spain at the end of the week. But at the same time, cold winds are trying to re-establish in the north anyway, from the north and the east. So we've got a bit of a battle here, and these differing air masses at the end of the week could fuel quite a deep area of low pressure. So there's a lot of uncertainty about the end of the week. I think Thursday, probably quite a cold day with wintry showers up in the north, maybe some more persistent spells of sleet or snow possible for the far northern part of Scotland. England and Wales probably having bright conditions, but also with showers, maybe a spell of rain coming into Ireland, Wales and southwest England later on in the day. Temperature ranging from around 3 to 8 degrees Celsius. On Friday, we probably bring a new area of low pressure into the south, so that could turn England and Wales quite wet on Friday with outbreaks of heavy rain. Further north, brighter for Scotland and Northern Ireland with sunny spells, but also quite cold with wintry showers. Winds still coming in from an east or northeasterly direction for northern Scotland. And then we go through to next weekend. This is Saturday. It's very uncertain, but we've got quite a deep area of low pressure developing down to the southwest. That's bringing severe gale force winds to the southwest, and that moves across the south through Sunday, and as it does so, it's starting to pull in cold air from the north and the northeast. So over the weekend, we could well see a spell of heavy rain and gale force winds to England and Wales. And as that pushes northwards and hits the cold air, it might turn to snow, and that'd be most likely for southern Scotland and northern England, where there could be a significant fall of snow potentially. As that clears away, we probably all return to fairly cold northerly winds, and maybe a return of wintry showers and frost by the time we get through to the following week. That's all to be determined, because it's quite a complicated weather pattern. Finally, just have a look at the charts from the weather outlook. So showery rain in the southwest today, still snow up in the north. As we go through Sunday and into Monday, we go more and more towards rain. We lose the snow, we start to thaw out the ground. There will be showery bursts of rain coming and going. Expect quite a lot of low cloud, mist and murk as well. These showery conditions continue into Tuesday and to Wednesday as well. Always just about holding on to the cold air for the far north of Scotland. So snow is symbol there for eastern parts of Scotland, even on Wednesday. And actually, as we go through to the end of the week, cold air will start to return to northern parts of the country, so wintry showers are likely in the north. In the south, it turns very wet, and that sets us up potentially for a spell of heavy rain, of gale force winds, and maybe some snow next weekend, and the detail on that is to be determined. So in summary, the big freeze is winding down. We're coming out of the freezer as the beast from the east returns to his lair. We're going to find that over coming days it's going to get less cold, and in the south it's going to get milder. We'll shift from snow to rain. We'll thaw out the ground. Showery bursts of rain coming and going throughout much of the week. At the end of the week, it gets quite interesting because it could turn very wet and windy in the south, and with cold air trying to return to the north, we might set up some snow by next weekend through the central swathe of the country, and that will be the focus of the videos in the coming days. Right, that's all for now. Thanks for watching.